the deaths and the conduct of the Bureau of Corrections. But the administration of President Duterte is still silent about the issue. What is the truth behind these deaths? And what are the implications of all of these? We discuss in this episode of the Chiefs. Welcome to this midweek edition of the Chiefs, and with us right now are Ana Marie Pamintuan of the Philippine Star, somewhere there. Wala pa si Ami. Okay, si Luchi Cruz Valdez, the head of News 5, and Ami is still somewhere in the port area. Robbie Alampay is somewhere in Pioneer, in the TV5 News Center in Pioneer. So they'll be coming online in a little while, we suppose.
I don't think Robbie will be with us today.
Oh, Robbie's not coming in. Okay. That's why I didn't see him a while ago.
And Ami is in Philstar. She's not somewhere in the port area.
Which is where the Philstar is. So, it's accurate. Mali mo, bumibili ng mami dun sa port area, di ba?
Okay.
Basing, what's the big story today? Have you heard about the big stories today?
Of course, the 11th petition at the Supreme Court.
Versus the law, the anti-terror law.
Yeah, and these are big shots, no? Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales and Associate Justice Carpio, along with the UP Law Center. Bigat nun, ha? Okay.
Those are colleagues of Attorney Harry Roque.
Yes, I know. Mukha po kami.
Anyway, and also a story that came out last night. The NBI recommended filing charges against the policemen involved in the killing of four intelligence agents of the AFP.
Or policemen, yes.
Yes.
Right.
Actually, we haven't carried that one, but we'll get to that later on. So that's the other one that we saw.
Pero siyempre, Ed, ang pinakamalaki pa rin ay yung nangyari sa Bucor. Okay?
The ever mysterious Bureau of Corrections.
Yung question mark. Talagang
yes.
Nangyari. Diba? Okay. So,
actually, you know, one thing that I'm really intensely curious about is whether or not Director Bantag already shaved his beard. Kasi diba, he promised not to shave his beard until he has put everything in order in the Bucor. Yeah, but now you can't tell kasi nakamask siya.
Nakalap na nga yan, GCTA.
Yeah, paano ng GCTA? Yeah.
It's almost a year, no? Parang every year may nangyayari sa kanilang malaki. This is like the second consecutive year that they're in the headlines. So, yeah.
So we're bringing in two legal eagles tonight. Also, both of them members of the Senate, senior members of the Senate. Our first guest tonight, I understand, will be Senator Franklin Dillon, who is of course with the minority bloc and also of the Liberal Party. Senator Dillon, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi,
Good evening, Luchi. Magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi po. Thank you, sir, for joining us tonight. Sir, nasa office ba kayo?
Ha?
Nasa office ba kayo? Parang...
Hindi po. I'm in the house.
Kasi napakakagalang-galang na. Sir, well, sir, you have released some statements about the Bucor issue and the reported death of JB Sebastian. But today naglabas po ng photos yung Bucor showing what appeared to be Sebastian, or at least they claim is Sebastian, with some tattoos just before his cremation. Let me ask you these questions, sir. You're being on a legal base, on the legal aspect and on the political aspect. You're being with the LP and you're being former Justice Secretary. Sir, una-una, may bang timbang yung photo na nilabas ng Bucor doon sa pagsabi ng Bucor na siya nga ay ito'y patunay na patay na siya? At pangalawa, anong epekto nun sa kaso with Laila de Lima?
On your first question, Ed, I haven't seen the photo, but what should be emphasized is that during these times, transparency is very important insofar as this issue is concerned. Why? Marami po hindi nagtitiwala na ngayon sa Bucor. Bakit po? Dahil po nung nakaraang nakaraang taon, ang laki po ng investigasyon sa Senado tungkol sa
GCA.
pay for sale, good conduct time allowance for sale, etc., etc., etc. And therefore, nawalan po ng tiwala ang taong bayan sa kakayahan ng Bucor na maayos ang pagpapatakbo. At lalo na po dito, ang involved po isang high profile prisoner, and the initial position of Director Bantag is that they are prevented from making any statement because of the Data Privacy Act, which is totally wrong. Mali po yan, because under the Data Privacy Act, is applicable to the living, to protect the rights of the living. Hindi po kasama yung namatay, because that you protect privacy, and a person under detention or deprived of liberty would have no right insofar as privacy is concerned. Otherwise, if you sustain that, then you to get a search warrant before you inspect the Kabul. So, walang karapatang insofar as privacy is concerned. So that is why when the director said we cannot reveal anything, the whole the people started to doubt kung anong nangyayari doon. Kaya you asked me about the picture. I do not know. I haven't seen the picture. But you asked me about Laila de Lima's case. Well, the position of the Liberal Party and Laila is that there is no evidence against her. That the evidence are not consist or not enough. In fact, Senator Laila de Lima claims they are invented and perjured witnesses. But having said that, my information is that this guy Santiago has not been presented as witness, and therefore not having been presented as witness, he can no longer be presented as witness because of his death.
Pero sir, let me introduce first si Ami Pamintuan na joins us now from the Philippine Star, yan, nasa baba. Philippine Star office at the port area.
Yes.
Pero sir, considering na si JB was supposed to be the star witness, he was supposed to be the star witness, would that have any legal impact on the case? Either way.
I do not know the evidence that they want to present. And a star witness, there is no such thing in a legal proceeding, a star witness. Maybe that's a description in media in order to emphasize the importance of a particular witness. But if what you're saying is that he is a critical witness, accepting that for a moment, then his death would prevent that presentation of his testimony.
Senator, baka maaaring para lang maliwanag sa lahat, ano po ba ang dapat ginagawa pag may namamatay na PDL sa mundo? Especially now, at the time of COVID, what should they have done in terms of promoting transparency?
I haven't examined, Lucy, in detail the rules, but certainly, number one, you must inform the nearest of kin of the fact of death. Number two, you must make public, especially at this time, the fact that this person died of COVID because you have to protect the public health. and that is precisely among the exemptions under the provisions of the Data Privacy Act.
Right.
There can be a public disclosure of
Yes.
data where it affects public health, and
Right. Of course,
it really does.
ang defense ni Bantag ay pagka-COVID or assumed COVID, dapat daw i-cremate within 12 hours. And now they're showing death certificates to prove na sila nga yun namatay. Anything
You know, I
irregular
haven't,
about it?
I haven't seen the death certificate, Lucy. I haven't seen it. So in the Senate hearing, we will ask all these questions. I will repeat: the situation today is that there can be no presumption of regularity in the performance of the functions of Bureau, because of the previous incident where the presumption is overcome by proof of misconduct among the officials.
Yes, sir. We were showing a while ago, just a while ago, we were showing a photo released by the Bucor, allegedly of JB
JB.
Sebastian.
Yes.
And though po, before the cremation, but that's according to them, of course. We have no way of verifying that.
No, they show the face.
Yun daw yung identifying mark, yung tattoo.
Yes, yes.
But anyway, Senator, you were a former Secretary of Justice. Sinabi na ng National Privacy Commission Chief na hindi naman daw kasama nga yung case na yan sa privacy
Yeah.
privacy rules. Saka even the USEC Mark Peretta of DOJ, sabi niya, if it's imbued with the public interest, pwede naman daw na i-disclose. Pero up to now, hindi pa rin natin nakukuha except for the 9, which actually the DOJ disclosed. Hindi ba mako-compel yung Bucor na ilabas na yung pangalan noong 21? Ano bang pwedeng gawin doon?
Pwede pong i-compare. Ngayon, kung hindi sila susunod, pwede silang tanggalin. Siguro ang isa sa mga reforma na gawin natin, at ito'y isa-suggest ko sa Senado, baguhin natin yung batas para yung Bureau Court Director is under the direct supervision and control of the Department of Justice,
Yes.
instead of an attached agency, because there is
Okay, what
need
difference will that make?
for
Yes.
Kung attached agency ka, hindi kailangan kaya niyang
what?
pwede siya kung attached agency, pwede siyang sabihin na ayoko i-release eh. Pwede niya sabihin yon.
Ay, pwede niya sabihin, but he's liable for misconduct before the ombudsman, because the official act is already can be argued to be contrary to public interest, particularly public health.
Yes.
And then of course, as I said earlier, Ami, the Data Privacy Act protects the rights of the living.
Yes.
Yes.
If you are dead, you do not have that right. Furthermore, a person deprived of liberty, or the PDL, the civil rights, including right to privacy, is suspended. Especially in this case.
Senator,
So-
going back to your suggestion to put the Bucor under the DOJ, what difference will that make? How will
Yeah.
that make Bucor more accountable?
Well, the actions of the Bucor must be approved by the Secretary of Justice before it becomes effective. For example, he can be directed and controlled by the Secretary of Justice in the sense that do not cremate the body until I can see proof that he is really dead. Today, he is only the Bucor is attached to the Department of Justice for program and policy coordination. The Secretary of Justice cannot reverse the decision of the Bucor director.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Senator, yung clarification lang kasi at that time si Buratong namatay in June eh. Hindi pa nag-expire yung bayanihan no. Ano yung protocol or is there a law yung reporting on emerging infectious diseases, for example, kailangan ba sabihan, hindi ba dapat kailangan i-alert yung kamag-anak? Kasi mukhang hindi alam ng mga kamag-anak na may sakit yung mga namatay. Required yun that you have to alert the relatives na baka mamatay yung anak niyo COVID to.
That's basic. That's basic that you should inform the next of kin, because the next of kin have certain rights flowing from the death of the relative. What are these? Of course, the property rights of the survivors. But what is important is that the relatives must be advised of the fact of death, and that to me that's the basic protocol.
Okay. Of course, hindi pa natin napag-uusapan yung possibility raw, Senator, na baka nga raw may body switching na naganap, no? Na baka raw paraan ito dahil for some reason nangyari na raw yan before. Pagka nga nangyari yan, ano mo masasabi nyo dun sa possibility that some of these PDLs may now be roaming free?
Well,
I don't want to think about it, but you know,
that's terrible. That's terrible, really. And you know that kind of thinking, Lucy, is precisely the thinking of many of our countrymen today. Wala na pong tiwala. Yun po ang problema. Kaya what kaya kung baka hindi naman, baka naglalakad dyan sa harap ng inyong...
Kaya nga, Senator, what immediate action do you expect the executive to do, yung madalian, in order to regain public trust in the Bucor?
Well, first of all, release all the names of those who died.
Yeah.
Because that is not covered by the Data Privacy Act, as in fact you execute a death certificate when you die. The authorities issue a death certificate. So the first thing to do, release the names of those who died.
So
Senator, may isa pang suggestion to release the photos. Kasi lalo na dun in the case of the Chinese, there are several Chinese eh. Kasi even the Chinese community will tell you, may mga pangalan yung Chinese, and within that, pwedeng they can have several Chinese names actually. So will it help na ilabas yung photo?
Honestly, I do not know, because this is something that is happening only at this point. These circumstances are that these very, very important detention, the prisoners, and then we have the COVID. So, ang gagawin mo dito is just utak mo na lang, rational. Rational decisions should be made on this. We must, ang importante na nandito, is that we must examine closely and the Bucor process so that hindi na po maulit ito. You talk about substitution. I read recently in a news report from a British newspaper about you can be documented as having died in the Philippines, and in fact alive. So this says much of our system.
Sir, if the Bucor is only an attached agency to the DOJ, so the DOJ cannot sanction, for example, the director of Bucor, ganun ba?
I know he can sanction, that's different. But on a day-to-day conduct of official functions, you can the Bucor director does not report to the Secretary of Justice.
DOJ.
Yes.
So,
what about replacement, for example?
Anong pwedeng gawin ng DOJ by way of executive action just to promote transparencies? Kasi tuloy-tuloy pa rin tong pandemic natin eh. Anong pwedeng gawin kaya ng DOJ just to promote transparency, at saka yung mga kamag-anak ng mga DL ma-alert, anong pwedeng gawin?
Under the present setup, the Bucor is is attached to the department for purposes of policy consideration, and
Yes.
therefore the Secretary of Justice can direct that this policy be followed, because the attachment means policy and program coordination, so it can be done.
Senator, usapan naman natin yung SONA. Ano po ang expectation niyo sa SONA after saying that you think that the IATF has failed? What do you expect the president to say?
You know, Lucy, to me, this SONA of the president is very important, because this is the SONA where we are under a pandemic. I do not recall of any other SONA where the entire nation or the entire world was under a pandemic threat, or pandemic because of COVID. Now, what I would like to see is an overall plan how we can get out or get out of this difficulty. You know, if you think about it, why did South Korea, why did Vietnam, why did Taipei, why did they succeed in controlling the spread of the COVID? Where did we fail? So to me, I would like to see the president come up with a comprehensive plan so that we can be guided accordingly. Because, Lucy, in terms of our economy is suffering. We have 5 million unemployed as of April. We have 5 million families experiencing involuntary hunger in April, meaning walang nakain. You know, we have 72,269 as we talk now, COVID patients or afflicted Filipinos. So this is something that we must come up with a plan. And we in the opposition, I myself, were willing to support these plans because we're all in the same boat. You know, the economy today is very bad. We had contraction of 0.2% of our economy in the first quarter. The second quarter will be worse. We will be on recession. What will we do? We have no funds right now, but we need to stimulate the economy. We need to continue with the social amelioration program because we have so many of our people who have no income. On the other hand, we have also to support our industries because they were affected by this pandemic and the lockdowns. So how much do we need? The House of Representatives said we need 1.3 trillion pesos. The Department of Finances, we can afford only 140 billion. You can imagine the wide disparity between what the House of Representatives think we need to stimulate our economy as against what the Department of Finance can afford. So we have to come up with a plan. You know, it is said that to survive this year, the next 6 months is already a success. That's how bad it is.
Right.
So you ask me what are my expectations. I would like to hear the president lay before Congress and the people. These are our plans. How much do we have to borrow? Who do we assist in the industry? And what moves should we take to strengthen our health system? Unfortunately, you know, our Secretary of Health, it's obvious that he can no longer influence decisions on such a health matter because he has made missteps at the very least over the past 4 months. So that again, when he opens his mouth, nobody believes him, and so we are suffering from that difficulty. So we have a very serious problem. And in response to your question, I would like to hear the president address these problems come up with a plan, and we are willing to help. Pero pakinggan naman kami paminsan-minsan.
Are you expecting the president to push for charter change? Kasi
Well,
mukhang pinagkakaabalahan pa rin hanggang ngayon ng iba niyang kaalyado.
if you are to believe the pronouncements of Malacanang, this is not their priority. According to our Senate President, this is not the priority. And all this talk about institutionalizing the share of IRA
Yes.
and opening or liberalizing our investment environment. Today, what do you see as in the headlines? We want the local government units to have a 5-year term, no limitation. So there you are. The cat is out of the bag. The purpose is really to lift term limits. Now, question: will amending the Constitution in this manner solve our unemployment problem? Will solve our problem of hunger? Will it strengthen our health system? Obviously not, because a debate on charter change will just divide us.
Yes. Anong pag-asa nung sa Senate? Just in case lang. Anong kung makarating sa Senate?
A number of us, including me, are not in favor. So it will be referred to the Committee on Constitutional Amendments with Senator Kiko Pangilinan as chairman. That is why they want to change Kiko. But I think those are the trolls wanting to change him.
Okay.
Pero sir, hindi pa ho decided yung ano.
Senate.
Go ahead.
Mr. Senator, hindi pa ho decided yung ano, di ba? Yung whether Congress would vote as one or would vote separately in the event that it is formed into a constituent assembly.
That's correct. Yes, that's not decided.
So it's up in the air. I mean, if it comes to a battle over a battle between chambers, there's always a possibility you will be overwhelmed.
In the first place, Ed, your question assumes that we will agree on amendment, and it's a question of the voting. We have not gone there yet. It's a question whether or not we agree.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Senator Franklin Dillon, maraming salamat po for joining us tonight. We hope to see you again next time in person.
Sure. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Lucy, for having me.
Thank you, sir. We will just go into a gap, so please stay with us.
Hindi, ang kailangan Welcome back to the Chiefs. We're now in the final stage of our conversation. And now we'd like to welcome Senator Richard Gordon, who chairs the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee and the Committee on Justice. Welcome, Senator. Good evening po.
Good evening, and good evening to Lucy, to
Hi, sir. Ed.
sorry.
Yes, we've been discussing mainly the developments in the Bureau of Corrections. Well, they released today, the DOJ has released the names of 9 high-value inmates, and the Bureau released a photo of, the body.
A body with tattoos.
Identifying tattoos now, that's JB Sebastian. What do you think of that, Senator? Okay na ba
Well,
yun na identification to verify na
he could have,
patag na to?
natatawa ako eh. He could have faked it. Kunyari, o sige ba, kunyari, susunugin niyo ako, pakuha na tayo ng retrato na kunyari patay na ako. Then,
Nagusunugin.
kukunin ng retrato.
Parang higa ka muna dyan, higa ka muna.
Higa ka
Sir,
muna.
we're showing the photo right now. I think there.
Yeah, tamo? I don't believe na I really don't know what happened, but ako sa bottom line sa akin, the failure to report is very, very catastrophic. Hindi nila ni-report, mga high profile prisoners, hindi nila ni-report na namatay na at sinulog kaagad nila o hindi nila tinawagan ng Secretary of Justice. And the GCTA, they are not authorized to release any prisoners, especially life-termers, without permission from the Department of Justice. Ito, permanent release. Kunyari, pinatay. No? Talagang mga loko. Ewan ko ha. To my mind, it's also important to remember that these guys don't have a sterling record. The performance of ng Bureau of Prisons through the years have always been questionable. So it's important that we realize na we have to ask questions. Otherwise, we would always be suspicious of what happened there.
So tuloy-tuloy na yung Senate probe. Kung matutuloy, Senator, ano yung unang-unang tatanungin niyo?
Bakit hindi kayo nag-report? Unang-una, they are required to report pagka may COVID. Prisons, under the rules of the Department of Health, have to report right away kung may COVID sila.
Yeah,
Para
case of infection. Infection pala.
Sa section.
Wala nga raw testing eh. Paano nila malaman, sir?
Oo nga eh.
Wala naman wala naman silang budget for testing. Pati nga raw nila na test kasi they have to cremate within 12 hours.
That's correct.
So, hindi na nila tinetest. Paano yun?
Well, the moment somebody gets sick, under the law, malinaw na they have to report. Nakalagay yung recital of people that have to report, organizations that have to report once they have a COVID episode, no? Lalo na kung positive, they have to report. Mukhang hindi nag-report talaga itong mga ito, no? And obviously, Secretary Duque is a member of the cabinet. Kung hindi nag-report sa kanya, wala siyang alam. Dapat nag-report rin siya doon sa Secretary of Justice. Malino na they're under the supervision of the Department of Justice. Again, they did not report. And bakit sabay-sabay yung mga Chinese? Ito yung mga kasama ito doon sa 18 na living high of the hog doon sa Bureau of Prisons. Matagal lang may special treatment dyan dahil nagbibigay sa mga prison authorities yung mga yan. May telephones, may TV, may visitation of mga tilapia, lahat na nagagawa nila. Kaya the record of the Bureau of Prisons is not sterling at all, and they're not. I don't think the trust rating is that high. It's in fact it's very low.
Pero sir, si Director Bantag was supposed to be the kamay na bakal. He was the one who was supposed to be put there to put everything in order and to impose parang martial law type of system in the Bucor na wala nang kalokohan. And now that's all in question.
But that's why precisely you don't put somebody na may kamay na bakal. You put somebody who knows the law, who knows penology, na dapat firm and fair ang hawak niya. At kung meron siyang hepe ng mga gwardya, hepe ng mga prisoners, yun dapat ang talaga mag-i-implement kung siya ay mag-ihigpit. Pero wala akong nakitang ganyan. And this is not the first time. Remember doon sa GCTA, yung sa kanyang predecessor, ganyan rin ang ginawa. Pinatakas. Hindi pa ako ng privilege speech, nalalabas sa si Sanchez, hindi maimbestiga. At nung maimbestiga, yun, nagkakandara pa sila, magpaliwanag. Naibalik lahat. Binalik lahat yung mga preso. Ewan ko naibalik lahat yung mga preso, pero maraming bumalik. Pero ito na naman, kung hindi pinalaya, ito naman, kunyari, baka pinatay, kunyari, para madali. Yun, ang daming sining ganyan eh. You can watch all the movies that you want. Talagang lalabas yan na Jack Ryan, di ba? Yung movie ni Jack Ryan na nandun sa loob yung preso sa Middle East, biglang yung pala may pumasok na patay, dinalala sa preso, tapos nasa loob yung patay, nasa loob yung tatakas, yung magtatakas doon sa loob, at pagkatapos na napatay na nila, yun na nilabas nila, yung body na iwan. So, switch.
Yeah.
Nag-switch ang bodies.
Okay. Senator, dun sa hearing na gagawin, how far up do you think the liability will go? Are you expecting that this goes beyond Bantag
Well, it depends on what kind of testimony they're going to give. No, some of these people think that they can get away with anything. I'm not prejudging it. I just want to be sure. Pero it's so hard not to believe na may walang nangyari because tinago eh. When you hide something that everybody expects you to report, kahit na walang batas, sasabihin mo kagad sa presidente, Sir, namatay na ito si Sebastian. Sir, alam mo yung mga generals yan, mahilig yan, yung mga ganyan na nasa prisoners. Ito, namatay na itong mga drug pushers na ito, namatay na lahat. Dapat report niya. He did not, that is his crime right away, as far as I'm concerned. That's a crime.
In fact,
Sir, that's-
Low credibility.
infectious diseases, di ba? Di ba we have a law on reporting of infectious diseases? May violation ba yan?
Yeah. That's the one I just explained to you. Well, I can read it right here.
Yes.
Nakalagay dyan, if the offense is committed, they're all required to report, and that includes the Bureau of Prisons. At makikita mo, talagang dapat nag-report sila doon.
Pagka-infect na pagka-infect.
Yes.
Yes.
Even the report has to report. The moment we found you negative kahapon, and kung nag-positive, I have to report positive. Kay Secretary Duque, mabuti lang negative.
Senator, bukod sa low credibility nila, bukod sa hindi kayo naniniwala sa kanila, no? Ano pang mga issues na sa tingin ninyo ay basehan para nga hindi tayo, para magduda ang publiko sa mga pangyayari sa loob?
Lucy,
Bukod sa PTA record nila, yung nangyari sa kanila last year, bukod sa yan, hindi nila sinunod yung mga protocols, saka legal procedures, at bukod sa low credibility, meron pa ba silang ginawa ngayon, dyan sa kaso ng mga COVID within Muntinlupa, na sa tingin nyo ay basehan para, sabi nyo nga, kasuhan na ng grave misconduct yung si Batan?
Hindi, sabi ko liable siya doon because talagang misconduct yung ginawa niya, even from the standpoint of the Department of Health and from the standpoint of being the head of the penitentiary. Now, sipin mo, if somebody is going to be executed in this country, if we still had the death penalty, the lawyer of Sebastian would be there. The Department of Justice would have a representative, manonood to make sure na talagang patay yan. Chine-check pa, sasabihin pa, ito, patay na ito at 3:30 in the afternoon. Patay na siya. Iyon lang pagkita mo yung basehan mo doon, para talagang it's protection for the public that you did not cheat the hangman. Hindi mo dinaya ang gobyerno na pinalabas na kunyari ibang patay pero yung pala nakatakas sa tao. So, yun lang makikita mo yun ang basehan, no? Marami pa rin mga marami silang mga rules yung GCTA by parity of reasoning. They have to report every activity involving the release of a prisoner. Ito, perpetual release na ito. Di ba? Nirelease nila. Kung sakaling nirelease nila, dapat natakot sila na pagka magpapaliwanag sila. Tinago nila Wala silang sinasabi kahit kanino. Wala silang sinasabi. Until na booking. Yun ang nangyari.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm not a senator, sir, but I'm wondering lang, could Bucor's lawyers argue that there is a presumption of regularity given meron silang death certificate? Could they argue that?
That's precisely the point. Even the presumption of regularity is burnt out because you remember when we were investigating sa GCTA, even the doctors of the Bureau of Prisons were on the take. They were taking money. They were getting money for various things. Magpa-check up ka, may bayad. Magdadala ng drugs doon sa loob nung clinic, nung ginagawa. Kumisan, may sexual misbehavior pa doon. Pagkatapos, may pinalabas silang babae. If you just forget the name, nakukuha ko. Ang tagal nakalabas yun sa Metropolitan Hospital. Si Yuklay, that's right. Yun lang makikita mo. How can you trust the doctor's certificate? Madaling
At yung pipirma dyan, yung doktor. Yung pipirma sa death certificate, the doctor.
Sila. Hindi niyo ba nabasa yung lumabas kayo sa Telegraph? Nakalagay sa Telegraph. 2020. Sabing ganon, the Philippines is now number 1 global leader in dead bodies that are reported or missing. No?
Fake deaths. Yung mga pinifake.
Nahabol ka ng asawa mo, lumipad ka rito, kunyari napatay ka. Bibigyan ka ng death certificate. So, bumababa tuloy ang ating documentation. Ang ginagawa nila, pagka nagpa-falsify sila, the credibility of the whole government suffers. It's just like our land titles. Pagka pinepeke yan, babaksak ang banking system natin, babaksak lahat yung mga hindi naman rin makakapag-rely, babaksak ang credit. Ganyan rin yan. How can you rely on people that hid it, tapos mayroon kagad silang dokumento, and lahat ng mga pinapakitan lang yung picture, that could have been staged. You know, could have been put to sleep for a while. Kunyari, mukhang tepok na, pero, you know, maraming pwedeng mangyari. And that's why they have a lot to explain. Hindi ba ka ba natatakot kay President Duterte? Galit na galit siya sa mga korupsyon. Eh dapat siya, talaga sasabihin sa kanya kagad, ito namatay sir. O ganun ba? Tingnan natin. O, di ba? Iba nga, magpapalitrato pa dyan. Iba, macabre humor, no? Pero still, to my mind, they have a lot to explain. Very much to explain.
What
Sana kung may tahi
legislation?
siya rito, no, yung parang sa autopsy.
Legislation?
Yeah, by
Yes,
way of legislation.
anong corrective legislation or
Well, una-una, sa akin, una-una, kung habang may COVID tayo, detention prisoners or convicted prisoners, pag may namatay, dapat tinetest mo for COVID yan. I-report mo yan. Pangalawa, they must report right away to the Secretary of Justice or to, and there must be proper inspection by the Department of Health and by the Department of Justice. Because napakadali niyan. Ang lalaki ng perang nakukuha niya mga yan dyan sa loob ng preso. Ang dami-daming pera ng mga drug pushers. Magpalabas lang ng drugs yan, milyon-milyon. So, pinagsabi pa nga sa akin, baka bilyon ang binigay dyan, hindi talaga matatanggihan. They gave him, probably that somebody got an offer he could not resist.
Well,
Senator
since-
earlier said that he suggests putting the Bucor directly under the Department of Justice instead of it being an attached agency right now. Do you think that's going to be...
Well, yeah, of course. But actually, the Secretary of Justice can go in there anytime. Di ba si Secretary De Lima did that? A lot of
Yeah.
other Secretaries of Justice did that. You know, it's a question of firmness. The message has got to be clear. You're under us. We don't have your own separate kingdom. Run the prisons and we will not intervene. Run the prisons badly, we will intervene. Pwedeng i-clarify yan.
Senator, medyo lilihis na ako since you mentioned the testing for COVID. You're also the chairman of Red Cross, we all know. Kumusta po yung yung facilities ngayon? Dagsa na ba yung mga tao sa Red Cross?
No,
Kasi-
no.
Oh, bakit?
You can see the testing in the whole country, including the Red Cross, is 1% pa lang.
Really?
Ngayon lang tayo umabot. Ikaw ata nagtaas doon sa 1%.
Oh, bakit kaya? No, I mean, you decrease your capacity. Bakit hindi po dumadagsa mga tao kaya?
Well, one, natatakot. Yung iba, may bayad. And dapat the government should really pay. In fairness to the government, they created an expanded list of people that will get it free. No? And then the other thing is nakukonfuse ang tao. Yung iba, pati negosyante. Bumibili sila ng rapid testing kit. Ayan, meron ako, I smell something fishy there. Biglang dumami yan. No? Tinutulak mo sa amin yan. Yung namin kinuha because it is not talaga reliable. And then you can take a look at just recently, the Department of Health said, hindi reliable yan. Talagang PCR dapat.
Yes.
Kaya, iba akala nila, they get a rapid test, okay na yan. Lumalabas, nagpa-positive. So, marami nang tatamaan kagad. And then, of course,
You've expanded the capacity. Anong capacity nyo ngayon? Sa PCR yung sa inyo, di ba? The gold
wow,
standard.
out of
Anong
22,
capacity?
at sa Manila lang, Manila lang.
Yes.
We have 22 PCRs. 1,000 per machine yan. 1,000 per machine. We only got yesterday 5,000.
Wow.
And before that, 4,000. The highest we've ever been is when dumating yung mga OFWs, we got 8,000. And even at that time, we only had 8 machines. So now we have 22 machines. We should be getting 22,000. Manila should be tested and we should be getting 1.7 million in the whole Metro Manila area.
Yeah.
That is computing it at 13%. Even the whole country, computing it at 13%, you need more than 10 million. 13% of 1.5 million, 5 million, easily you need about 13 million. Ako ang ginagamit ko 13%.
Hmm.
And that's a problem, see? There's no easy way out here. And then finally, isa pa, people think na pag na-test na sila, okay na sila. No, paglabas mo, pag nakabangga ka ng merong sakit at mahina-hina ang constitution mo, then you get it, no? So you really have to stay home if you're not doing anything. You have to use the mask. You have to, even at home, you have to use the mask when you go in front of people. Kami nga ni Kate, pag nandun ako sa kwarto niya, I wear a mask. We have to have separate rooms. And then even our household help, dalawa lang naman sila, they wear masks, no? So, importante yan. Saka yung alcohol palagi, hugas ng kamay, and then social distancing. That is the way to get rid of the disease. Pagka mayroon limbawa sa Quezon City, may barangay, dapat all out kaagad yun. Talagang interdictions. Drain the swamp. You go around, yung may mga neighbors, kung meron doon, then mag-test ka randomly para makuha mo kung talagang marami talaga doon. And then you go to another place. And that is what is important.
You mentioned the cost of the PCR as a possible deterrent. I know what it costs sa Red Cross, but maybe you can tell us. Kung magkano.
If you're a civilian like you, you pay 4,000 because we have to test the swabs alone, and the reagents. They cost about $15 to $18. Kasi isang swab $15 lang lumalabas yan eh. Ito $18 yan, no? Tapos certainly you have any number of medtechs that work 24/7. In fact, I'm thinking now, hahatiin ko muna yun eh. Para kung hindi ako makakakuha ng maraming tests. And then of course, the local governments, umaasa rin sila sa PhilHealth, no? So, importante na talagang, again, the policy on PhilHealth na sino ang babayaran nila. If we really want it, we really have to reach that. If you look at the chart, America is testing at 14%. And yet, ang laki-laki ng kanilang sila number 1. Ang India, pareho natin, 1%. Watch India and Brazil because pagka yan ang kumawala, pareho tayo, dadami yan. And I'm making sure, mabuting matakot ang tao na pag dumami yan, talagang hindi tayo makakagalaw and we're not gonna be able to work.
Covered ng PhilHealth ang testing. Covered ng PhilHealth.
Yung mga doctor, like now, we're testing doctors, nurses, yung mga teachers, yung mga frontliners, mga police, tapos yung mga talagang mahirap na meron na silang problema talaga. So, kailangan mag-test. No? If they have all the symptoms, we test automatically.
Okay. And compared to the private hospitals daw, 6,500 ba?
Meron pang 11,000, may 9,000.
Yeah. Yes, mas mahal pa dyan. 8,000 actually.
By the way, I just want to remind you also that the Red Cross also invested in, even if it's experimental, it seems to be working also, no? Yung plasma convalescent. And we invested in one and we have given 9 or 10 people, siguro ngayon mga 15 na, and we're able to get donors, and then we're able to give it to the patients. And if they're given early, according to PGH, and I will swear to that, early enough, they survive. No? Pagka late na, 28% na lang ang survival mo pagka end part na ng disease. No? So really, we have to help ourselves. You have to protect ourselves. The best rule is you and me are COVID carriers. Lahat tayo pare-pareho may dalang COVID carrier para mag-ingat ka dahil baka makapanghawa ka. So, kailangan talaga umiwas ka doon sa makahawa ka.
Eh, sabi naman ng UK study, sir, compliant daw ang mga Pinoy sa mask. Hindi ba encouraging yun?
Well, I don't know.
Senator, dream ba yung ano? Senator, pipe dream ba yung free test for everybody? Because that's what most Filipinos, actually all Filipinos dream of, no? Bakit ba kailangan kaming singilin kung gusto natin talaga malaman kung sinong positive, bakit hindi ilibre? Bakit
Well,
nga
put
ba?
it this way. The Red Cross wasn't going to go into testing, pero binabasa namin ng literature, wala tayong automated testing machines. So, kanina nga, nag-international meeting kami ng Red Cross. Like this, pinupuri yung Philippine Red Cross because sabi niya, how did you get in there? You know, that's not our traditional route. But we have to because people have become vulnerable. Hindi natin naunahan yung disease. Maraming bidding, maraming ganyan. Kami rin may bidding pero mabilis kami. Nakabili kami kaagad sa China. I talked with my counterpart sa Chinese Red Cross. Sabi ko, anong pinakamagaling na ginamit sa Wuhan? And I spoke with the ambassador of China. And then I spoke with si Gwen Pang, who is in China because she's the representative of the International Federation there. And sabi ko, nandiyan ka rin lamang, bantay mo kung anong ginagamit dyan. And in the process, we found out about these machines and that's what we got. And we don't regret it because it's been effective for us.
Pero yung Manila City
Anong
Hall nga, may
automated?
libre na eh. No? May libre sila eh.
Yeah.
Na drive
Ano
May
yun?
through.
drive-through na
Rapid
libre.
yun, rapid testing yan, rapid
Oh.
testing.
Rapid test.
So,
It's not PCR.
Yes, I know. But,
Could be a fool's paradise.
Ah.
It has its uses.
Oh.
It finds out that you have antibodies. But
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yes.
tell you whether you have it now. No?
yes, right.
Mm.
Fool's
Ah.
paradise.
Yeah. Naniniwala
Sir,
ka.
Sir, lihis lang ako ng konti, sir. Lihis lang ng konti kasi sa Monday, magsasona na ang Pangulo and a lot of people expect the SONA to more or less focus around the COVID-19. But at the same time, there are people, including the mayors, the League of Mayors, who are pushing as well for charter change. Although sabi nila targeted charter change daw. I mean, now they're looking at specific provisions, not the entire charter. Ano po yung temper ng Senado?
Sorry yung position na yun, it's as bad as what happened in the Muntinlupa na hindi nila sinasabi na patay na namatay na yung mga yun. It's as bad as that. Because unang-una, there's hardly any time. You know, sa akin, I'm willing to go charter change. Pero the moment we have new elections, in the elections, we should debate kung ano-ano mga issue na dapat paguhin. And then each party, kung may party, they should make a presentation. These are our proposed amendments to the Constitution. And that can be debated, at least for a change. Hindi na pabonggahan, hindi na parami ng pera. Dapat makinig ang tao. And then, at the moment nag-change ng government, then you can have a constitutional convention. Now, you can do that, no? But if you do it now, it will be suspect. Because that's what Marcos did, you know, in 1971, di ba? Pumasok siya dyan, re-elect niya, and then, yun na, naghahanda na ma-extend ang term. And in the end, na-extend nga ang term. Nag-martial law na. So, as far as I'm concerned, that is not the priority. The priority is we are facing a world-class of a tremendous and catastrophic proportions. Dapat ma-address natin yung COVID. Dapat may game plan dyan. Dapat sino ang ililibre sa testing. Ano ang gagawin sa mga tao na pasaway? Pangalawa, we have to take side by side the economic rebound. Because right now, I'll tell you, there is a document that I read recently na nakalagay doon, the Japanese were looking for 30 companies that they were going to move to Southeast Asia. Sino nakakuha ng 15? Vietnam. Ilan nakakuha ng Pilipinas? Tatlo lang. So we're not promoting, we're not making ourselves ready. And third, what are we going to do with the OFWs? What are we going to do with our tourism? That's why kami, pinosisyon rin namin sa malapit sa airport yung mga testing facilities namin para you can drain the swamp, for example, in Boracay, and then people can go back there. Hopefully, I'm not even confident that they will do that, but at least wala nang problema doon. And you can say Boracay has not had a single COVID case. So may magbabakasyon at magbabakasyon. Katulad sa America, they went to Florida and went to the beach. No? Ganun pa rin yan eh. So we have to have a real honest-to-goodness master plan on how we're going to live. And it's gonna need scientists. Hindi lang yung mga tao natin na sa cabinet, na may mga military, and they're doing a good job. General Galvez is doing a good job. General Año in the DSWD has to push the mayor a little bit more. But ang kailangan natin is to make sure that the science is part of the solution here.
You're the author of a law on tourism as well. sa tingin nyo, I think hindi hirap na hirap sila makarecover ngayon. What do you think can be done in the short term?
Alam mo,
Talagang
nakaka-recover yung mga hotel. Nakaka-recover yung mga hotel dahil dyan gilalagay ng gobyerno yung mga kararating lang na natetest sila.
Magka-quarantine.
Nagkaka-quarantine, binabayaran ng gobyerno yan. At least medyo merong nangyayari dyan. Pero ang tourism,
Pero ang konti ng arrival, sir.
Yes.
Pero ang
Alin?
konti ng mga arrivals,
Saka
the
hindi
arrivals are so few.
that's right.
So,
Kaya nga, even Subic, they're not using Subic up to now.
kaya nga. Yeah.
Clark, I'm glad they're using Cebu, they're using already. Davao, of course. Pero certainly, tourism is not just foreign. Mas importante kung minsan yung domestic tourism.
Yeah, you
That's
think we
where-
should ease
That's
up
where
more?
more Philippines clicked. Wow,
You think
Boracay, wow, Siargao, mga ganyan.
You think we should ease up more on domestic tourism?
Yeah, I think we can pick up. Then we should, another law that I made was the holiday economics with Joker Arroyo. If you have the holiday on a Wednesday, you do it on a Monday or a Friday so people can have a trip, at least as a family. May
A long
malalapit.
weekend.
They can go to Laguna, they can go to a safe area, and then you can have a competition. Yung mga destinations will say, oh, we've drained the swamp here. Wala kaming COVID dito. Pero mag-wear pa rin kayo ng mask. Pero at least, merong competition, makakatulong yan para mabuhay yung mga pamilya ng mga nasa tourism business.
Pero kailangan bumaba muna ang
Yes.
ang R0 kasi nakakatakot yung R0 ngayon, sir, 1.75. That's
Yeah, well,
high. Yeah.
I don't know whether we are really conscious na dalawang dapat makabangon tayo dito because we will be poor.
Yeah.
We are really poor. We might be dirt poor unless we do something about all these things. No, dapat limbawa, you remember we were very poor when America left Subic. We were very poor immediately after Pinatubo. Durog ang mga bahay namin. Ako, lahat ng sinihan ko nasira. Walang naglinegosyo. Olongo po. Lahat ng areas around Clark and Subic, devastated. And then, pinaalis pa ang base. Ba't nakabangon kami? Pero iba ito. Hindi mo basta-basta mapapaalis ito eh. Hanggang mapagod yung disease na yan, like what happened in 1919, tuloy-tuloy yan until you find a vaccine, which is gonna take about a year at least. Hindi ako naniniwala na nandiyan na yung vaccine eh. It will take a year. At saka ito nag-mutate. Ang sinasabi sa akin ng mga expert, yung mga scientists namin yung mga doctor, sinasabi sa amin, ito raw dumating dito, galing sa mga barko na magkakasama yung mga Indiano at Pilipino. Mas matabil yung dumating dito, hindi yung sa China. Yung sa China meron, sa Manila marami. Pero sa ibang lugar, ang dumating dito yung mga galing sa barko, India and Pilipino, na mga marinero, yun ang medyo nakapagpasok ng konti dito. I don't know if that's very accurate. I don't know.
Yes, sir. Sir, you did mention yung vaccines eh. Baka there's a need to manage expectations with regard to the vaccines kasi every time the president talks about vaccines, it's almost like it's already there this year. And from what I hear, it will take at least a year before a commercial vaccine is out.
Look at Ebola. They had Ebola. They had a vaccine, pero hanggang ngayon may Ebola pa. This is going to stay with us forever. Para lang pneumonia, parang yung ating mga sakit na chickenpox nung araw. Yung chickenpox, bumabalik as shingles when you get older. So all of this can happen. And by the way, the Red Cross is now engaging with the government in terms of polio vaccine, of measles. We are trying to do that. No? Kaya nga, ayokong nakikita yung mga naglabas ng dengue vaccine kasi nawawala ng tiwala yung tao sa dengue vaccine. Di ba natin nahahalata? Lahat ng ating mga institutions na question. Sa akin pa napupunta, dengue vaccine. Nasira tuloy ang vaccine. Ito ngayon, preso. Yung ating peace and order. Yan ang dapat asikasuhin rin ng Pangulo dahil dumadami pa rin yung mga riding in tandem. Again, it was a subject of a sermon made by the bishop, no? Na we've gotten used to it. We've lost our faith in ourselves. We've doubted ourselves na wala tayong laban. Kaya ganyan na lang, they get away with it.
Okay.
Alright.
Sir, we're just about finished. Maraming salamat po, Senator Richard Gordon of the Chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee and also of the Red Cross. Sir, thank you po for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Senator.
Always enjoy all your questions or your banter. Thank you. God bless.
Yeah,
Thank you po. Ingat po.
Bye.
Stay safe.
And that will be all for this midweek edition of the Chiefs. We hope what is discussed here will keep the conversation going. I'm Ed Lingaupa News.
I'm Ami Paminton of the Philippine Star.
I'm Lucy Cruz Valdez of News 5, and we are One News.